What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and it's time to preview Week 5 in the Big Ten as the college football season rolls on. We're going to start off with a game of two teams down towards the bottom of the Big Ten right now. It's Nebraska at Illinois. Nebraska 7-point favorites in this one on the road. This one's on FS1 Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. This is one of those games Nebraska's going to have to be careful. They have really not looked good so far this season. They cannot afford to lose this game. It could be a new head coach if they lose this one, because it's been a struggle so far. Illinois at home Friday night, if they can get that crowd into it, get pumped up, maybe they pull off the upset. It wouldn't be a huge shocker to me the way Nebraska's been playing. So yeah, I think it's going to be an excellent football game, but it's a really, really big one for Nebraska. Nothing to lose here for Illinois, as nobody really expects them to win this one. Maryland at Minnesota, Fox Sports 1, Saturday, 12 o'clock Eastern. How about this? Minnesota, a 13-point favorite. That seems like a pretty big spread. I know Maryland struggled against Central Florida, but we can't forget they beat Texas on the road. Minnesota's defense is really good. I expect them to play well in this one, maybe keep it low scoring. So that's why the spread, that's another reason I don't think, maybe the spread should be that high. I think this game's going to be a little bit closer than that. I do like Minnesota to win it, especially playing at home. But we'll see, do we get the Maryland team we saw against Texas, or do we get the Maryland team we saw last week against Central Florida? If we see the Maryland we saw against Texas, this could be a really good game, one that comes down to the wire. If not, Minnesota may pull away and win this one easily. All right, so moving on now to the game that I thought was going to be huge. I thought this was going to be the game that decided the West, but now it doesn't look that way. ABC Saturday, noon Eastern, Northwestern at Wisconsin. I think Northwestern's beat them 2 out of the last 3 years. And again, I thought Northwestern was going to be really good this year. I had them in my preseason top 25. Wisconsin, though, has looked dominant so far. Northwestern has looked not good at all. I do think Northwestern improves and makes this, at least a somewhat close game. I think that spread's probably about right, about 14 points, something like that. Wisconsin's defense is really good. The run game's really good. And I just don't see Northwestern being able to pull this one out. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a close game, comes down to the wire, but I do think Wisconsin wins it by about 14 points. So again, I think that spread is right on the money. All right, here's one. Penn State had better watch out in this game. This is on Big Ten Network Saturday at 3:30 Eastern. Penn State, a 17-point favorite. This Indiana team is, I've been talking about them all year. They're going to upset somebody. Is this the week that it happens? Penn State coming off that emotional win over Iowa. Indiana's offense is going to be able to move the ball on them, I believe. This is definitely the biggest test of the season for Penn State's defense. Now, can Indiana slow down Penn State's offense? Probably not. So this is another game where I think that spread is about right, 17. But if Penn State does not bring their A game, especially on defense, Indiana could light up the scoreboard, and we could see a shootout, could see a close game here. Don't sleep on this one. It could be a close game, but I do think Penn State wins it by about 17 to 21, somewhere in there, just because the offense is so good. They're going to put up 40-plus points in this one. All right, Fox, Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern, Iowa on the road at Michigan State. I still don't understand why Michigan State is favored in this game after the way they played against Notre Dame last week. Iowa almost beat Penn State. Iowa's got the better defense here. Offensively, maybe give a slight edge to Michigan State. And they are playing at home, so that gives them definitely a chance, but I still like Iowa to win this game. I just don't think Michigan State's quite back to where they used to be. I think there's still a little bit of that team we saw from last year where they struggled a lot. So, yeah, I like Wadley to have a big game for Iowa, and they win this one by a touchdown. So definitely, if I was going to bet on this one, I would probably go straight up Iowa. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what happens when they play. For whatever reason, I have a pretty good feeling about that one, though. All right, Big Ten Network Saturday, 7:30 Eastern. Rutgers at home against Ohio State, 29.5-point underdogs. So this is the game right here for Ohio State. They're going to start Big Ten play. Well, they've already played Indiana, but we're going to ignore that game. This is it. If they're going to make a run at the playoffs, if they're going to win the rest of their games, this starts right here. They've got to win this game, and they need to win convincingly. They need to make a statement that this is still one of the best teams in college football. We don't need to see that Ohio State team that has struggled a little bit. Struggled in the first half against Indiana. Couldn't do anything against Oklahoma. We find out a lot about. I think this is a huge game for Ohio State. I really do. If they let Rutgers hang around in this game, they're playing at home. There'll be a fired up crowd, I'm sure. If they let Rutgers hang around, this stays a close game. Ohio State sneaks it out by 1 or 2 touchdowns, something like that. That's going to really hurt the confidence of this team. I'm telling you, football, especially college football, is a big time mental sport. I mean, that's why you see upsets. Teams just play harder. Teams are fired up. All that stuff. This is huge for Ohio State, and I think they get it done. I think they win this one by at least 4 touchdowns. They build that confidence, and they go on a run through the Big Ten. So that's my predictions, my thoughts on this week's games. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about all these games in the Big Ten. But that's going to do it for this video. More previews today while I do all the Power 5 conferences, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports YouTube channel.